Has the world gone mad? Real Housewives of Potomac, or should I say former Real Housewives of Potomac star Mia Thornton, looks like she's moved to Atlanta and may be leaving the franchise. Everyone and their mama are asking Ashley Darby to stop singing, please. And they want the Roberta Flack estate to send her a cease and desist.
That is funny.
We've got the tea on her continuing to perform the song at a recent charity event. Not only that, Cynthia Bailey of the Real Housewives of Atlanta is receiving a lot of backlash this week from her interviews, and people are saying that she's siding and making excuses for Britt Edie.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So this is going to be a Sunday Housewives update. As you know, tonight is a new episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we will be recapping it tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern here on our YouTube channel. But if you follow me on TikTok, then you saw I've done a couple of videos on Ashley Darby singing. This past week, everyone wants to know if it was on April Fool's Day. I don't remember. But Ashley Darby decided to stop by Fox 5 DC to perform a tribute to Roberta Flack by singing her song, her hit song, Killing Me Softly, with his song. Since then, everyone has said, please stop, please stop. Even the saxophone player seemed as if he wanted her to stop. However, the saxophone player was at this charity event where Ashley Darby decided to continue to sing this song.
Yup.
Not only that, Ashley Darby addressed the backlash that she's been receiving since that performance has gone viral.
So, you know what, I visited my friends at Fox 5. Yep, and I'm not gonna blame anybody else. Even if some blame should be distributed, I will not do that. And I will say that we did not do justice, at least what came out on the TV. It was not justice to this incredible musician, Roberta Flack. Okay, so.
As always, we're going to cite our sources. Jordy Cray on TikTok revealed that this second performance of the song, along with other songs that she performed, including I Will Survive, she even performed some Beyonce. She didn't include any of her own personal music, but Jordy reveals that this was a charity event. He paid $50. He sat right next to Josh Harlow. I was going to call him Jack Harlow, but even that's wrong. But apparently they're still dating. Giselle was also in attendance at this charity event as well. So here's my problem with the situation, besides Ashley Darby performing. It's more so Ashley Darby trying to say that there's plenty of blame to go around. Girl, the musician sounded great. The background singer sounded great. You were the only one that sounded horrendous. And I do not say that lightly. You sounded horrendous. And this is coming from a professionally trained singer. And I understand sound sometimes can make you sound off key if your in-ears are not working properly or the sound is not sounding for you. Maybe you didn't have a sound check. But Ashley, we've heard you multiple times sing, and none of those times we've said, yes, she should pursue singing. None of those times. Even your own family made faces about how you were singing in this last season of Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm just really comforted that Ashley Darby's family feels the same way that we do when she accosts us with her musical talent or lack thereof.
Not us, it's about you.
Because we're healing and we're thriving. No, we're surviving. Healing and we're thriving now. I keep the light in the dark time. Dean, take all the
Lord. Please stop. This is the world's cease and desist to Ashley Darby to stop singing and to stop TikTok dancing. But now people are saying, I'd much rather her TikTok dance than sing. Okay. Since we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac, we have to talk briefly about Mia B. Lying, because it looks like Mia is confirming that she will not be returning for another season of the Real Housewives of Potomac. As you know, during the last reunion, Giselle revealed that Mia doesn't live in the DMV. She doesn't live in Potomac. She lives in Atlanta, where her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Ink, lives, and apparently her eldest son. Well, Mia took to social media and posted on social media a picture with her children, captioning it saying, "And she created peace." Mind you, she created peace, but she also created the war and all the lies. She also puts a heart emoji and she says, "We love it here. Hashtag penthouse living, hashtag ATL, hashtag mama bear." Adorable children. Mia, if this is your way of confirming that you won't be returning to Potomac, thank you. We are done. But we also are not interested in Mia being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But we shall see. I mean, this season's already over. We shall see what the next season looks like. We have to remember, a lot of times, I know sometimes when a housewife doesn't show up to a reunion or leaves a reunion, they end up not coming back. However, I believe this really should be Mia's swan song. Like, goodbye. No longer want to see you. No thank you for your services at all. Today's video is sponsored by our friends over at June's Journey. Oh, I have a new game that we can play as a community. It's a game that is full of mystery, has a female protagonist. Yeah, I'm talking about June's Journey. You may have heard about this before, or you may have not. But if you like playing games on your phone, we found the one for you. And it doesn't matter if you have an Apple phone or an Android. You can find this game in the iOS and Android app stores, and you can even play it on your PC. So June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game with a captivating story, and every single week they're adding new chapters. So this is never going to get old. And like I said before, you can play this with your friends, your spouse, and even more important, this is something that we can play together as a community. We should be talking about this in our Discord, in the comment section, or even in our live chat. And one of the other things that I like about certain games is the ability to build. And in this game, you can build your own island. Yes, but more importantly, you can download June's Journey for free by scanning our QR code or clicking our link. More information on June's Journey will be available in the description.
June's Journey. Play now.
So let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey. It seems as if, and I told you this before, if you've been watching any of our Hot Topic lunch lives, I've been telling you behind the scenes, Bravo is nervous about the ratings for Real Housewives of Atlanta. They are dropping every single week, but more specifically, the ratings are dropping in their demo. The ideal spot for advertisers, which is 18 to 49. Every single week, they are having a series, not season, series low in viewers and demo. That's according to our friends over at TV Deeds. Not only that, we have a lot of people saying that they don't like the cast. There are certain people that people like. The whole drama in regards to Britt, Edie, and Kenya is going to play out. It's already started playing out last week. And a lot of people, including Team Twirl and Kenya, are saying she's been vindicated. Because what we see in last week's episode is the fact that Britt, Edie brought up whips and pistols, not once, but multiple times. And as someone that's worked in HR for years, I was like, so what happened here? How did we get here? How was this handled? Was there an investigation? What was the resolution? We do hear that there was an investigation after this week's episode where Kenya supposedly, shares very explicit photos of Britt Eady during her Kenya Moore hair care spa grand opening event. Week after week, what we've seen is one star from this cast has been doing the media rounds. This week, it was Cynthia Bailey. So Cynthia Bailey did an interview with Housewives Nightcap where she talks about what she experienced at Kenya Moore's hair spa.
Everything that goes down there. Are you in touch with Kenya? Has your relationship changed based on what happened?
I have not spoken to Kenya since around the time that whole thing happened.
Okay.
And, that's really kind of a sad situation for me because I was there to just support her salon. I'm so proud of her. I know how hard she's worked on it. And I was just so disappointed to see her vision be overshadowed by what happened at the salon.
All of us said that. I always remind you guys, when we initially heard this rumor come out, remember, this initially came out through MediaTakeout.com. And a lot of people were like, it's Media Takeout. No one took it serious. And I was like, Kenya has done a lot of antics over the years. Kenya would never do this at her own spa. This was my initial response. It's like, Kenya would not do this at her own spa, only to find out that's exactly what happened. And it was disappointing. But I have to remind you guys, Kenya did and filmed an event at her hair care spa back in season 15. And she was upset and disappointed that it was never shown on the show. So part of me believes, okay, she was like, I need to make sure that this hair care spa, first of all, is successful. We saw last week, she said she invested Brooklyn's college fund, $400,000 into this hair spa. It has to be successful. And again, this is, for me, confirming like, no, she's invested a lot in here. She wants to make sure that it's featured on the show, because when it's featured on the show, it's going to bring bodies into this hair care spa.
Which you guys will see. I felt like that should have been the focus because, that was her like life dream, like building this hair care empire. Yeah. And I just wish she had called me before, or like, I definitely would have like, this is your moment. This is like beautiful. The entire event was amazing. And it just ended on not such a great note. And I let her know that, because I just thought it was beneath her. I hold my friends to a standard. Kenya is a woman of class. I just felt like it was beneath her, and I was a little disappointed in how she responded.
Yeah. I could see when I asked you about her that there's like a lot of hurt.
It's like my least favorite question because like this is someone that I do care about, and I have to respect her space. I have reached out. I reached out during that time, and texted, I called, and I respect if she needs a minute, and she knows that when she's ready to talk to me, I'll be right here.
Yeah.
Look, understandably, mind you, this happened back in June of last year. This is going on almost a year. So these two have not spoken in almost a year. And I know sometimes for housewives, they play it up, even though maybe they're in a better place right now. No. Word on the street, according to my sources, these two have not been good. They're still not good. I have many thoughts on this because I think all of us, even if you're not a Kenya stan, fan, team tour, whatever, we're disappointed. Like, okay, Kenya, this is actually a good business for you to be in. It makes sense for you. It makes sense for the hair care products that you have. Why would you do this at your event? It's one thing to do something funny or theatrical, but explicit photos at your event, that is disappointing. No matter how many people want us to spin it, yes, the whole pistol situation of it all, and this is where Cynthia Bailey is receiving a lot of backlash because they're like, you don't have that same energy for Britt Eady. You're holding Britt Eady. You're being friends with Britt Eady when you know what she did. She reminds us in other interviews that she's done, I don't think people even noticed that Cynthia Bailey was in last week's episode. I noticed after the fact, after my recap, I was like, wait a second, Cynthia wasn't in this episode. However, Cynthia did hear about the pistol accusations that Britt made. So a lot of people are saying that Nene told us about Cynthia a long time ago. She's not a loyal friend. However, I'm giving Cynthia grace in regards to the disappointment that she's feeling when it comes to Kenya and how Kenya handled the situation.
It makes me really sad when there's true pain going on this show, and I can see that for sure there is.
Yeah, actually, when I watched the scene back, I forgot that I was actually emotional in that scene. I was like watching it, I was like mortified, obviously, with the rest of the cast, and I just didn't like it. I just didn't want that to be her moment. I didn't. And when I was, in the scene, you'll see it play out. I say that you're just better and bigger than this, and I just don't want to be here. Like, I'm just going to leave, and I love you. And I was like, literally, there were tears in my eyes because I just want the best for her.
Right.
And I want her, I know what she's capable of as just, she's a great mom.
Yes.
And I see the vision for what she's trying to do with Kenya Moore Hair Care. And I was like, no, this is not it. This is not it. This is not.
As I said to you before, there are a lot of people trying to drag Cynthia for not being a good friend, for defending Britt Eady, saying that's not who she knows Britt Eady to be. She's done multiple interviews this week. Here's the thing, and I said this before, and I'm going to keep saying this, is what Britt Eady did was wrong. Wrong. But we are still in a work environment. Not only are we in a work environment, we're at your place of business. So there's one thing to hold Britt Eady accountable for what she did. It's another thing to be like, well, that's not the response. That's not the response as a grown adult. That's not the response in a work environment. And I keep giving you guys that correlation because we forget, yes, we're watching a show of entertainment, but this is still a work environment. So if someone pisses you off at work, doesn't mean that you can go and do something like this or similar to what they did without repercussions. You already know that in your work environment. Yes, you might go ahead and do it, and some of you will go ahead and do some stuff that you're not supposed to do that goes against your code of conduct. And yes, Bravo has a code of conduct. Are they consistent with it?
Hell no.
No. But is your workplace consistent with it? No. However, if you do something that goes against their code of conduct and maybe they don't like you, there's also that element where a lot of people are saying, Bravo doesn't like Kenya, blah, blah. And if they don't like you, they will look for any reason to get rid of you. And now you've given them a reason. I'm looking forward to see how this episode is edited. I'm also looking forward to seeing what the ratings for this week's episode will look like when it's focused clearly on Kenya Moore. Guys, don't forget, today's video is sponsored by our friends over at June's Journey. For more information on how you can get free access to their app and more will be available in the description. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.